What's up, guys? I'm Jeff, the founder of Worldwide Cyclery, and today I'm here to tell you about some new brakes from Sram, the G2 Ultimates and G2 RSCs. I'm always excited when SRAM drops a new brake because it seems like every iteration that they do, the brakes just get significantly better and they've come a really long way. I personally love SRAM brakes and always ride them, and the two things that really just keep me hooked on SRAM brakes and really not going to any other brake brand for an extended period of time are the contact point adjustment and basically the feel of the modulation. So these two G2s, the Ultimate and the RSC, both retain those. So they both have tool-free reach adjust, and then my favorite thing, which is the contact point adjustment, which is this little wheel that you can roll right here, and that'll actually determine how far that lever is going to have free flow before it engages. I love that, and SRAM seems to be the only people that have figured that out in the brake world, and it actually works and functions great, so you don't really need to mess with like overbleeding or underbleeding your brakes. You can just bleed them properly and then use that contact point adjustment to really dial in how far each one of those levers pull. So the G2s, they kind of fall in between the Code series and the Guide series. They're a 4-piston caliper. They're definitely powerful. They, to me, almost feel basically as powerful as the Code series. It's a stiffer caliper than the RSC, than the Guide RSCs, that is. And yeah, of course, the Ultimate's got a carbon lever. Ultimates are coming out for the G2s at 280 per brake and the RSCs at 180 per brake. So good price point there for like a premium brake. Like I said, stiffer caliper, which is really making the things sort of feel more like the Code RSCs. If you haven't tried the Code RSCs, they definitely have sort of a snappier lever feel and a ton of power compared to the Guide RSCs. And Code's really supposed to be that like downhill series for the brakes. And this is kind of falling in between the two. So it's awesome to see this because if you look at sort of the Guide series, it's kind of more around like trail bike / enduro bike, and then the new Code RSCs are definitely more on like the downhill bike side. These sort of fit somewhere in the middle, which is what a lot of people have really been demanding, especially on like an enduro bike these days. Hopping on, first impressions of these things, like I said, the power is there, which is really nice. They've definitely done some good redesigns inside of the actual lever in terms of the spring in there and how that lever feels and the stiffness and like just the overall feel to the actual brake is pretty phenomenal on these things. We're going to have a long-term review coming up in the next several months once we get some more long-term time on these, but initial thoughts, they're awesome. They definitely are snappy. I like that it's, you know, right in between those two brakes, and again, so far that we've experienced on these things, they've been nice and powerful, and they do, to me, feel almost as powerful as Codes, just not quite as heavy, which is really cool. These things are going to be coming out in the next month or so, available at retail. Looking forward to that. It'll be interesting to see what SRAM does with the rest of their brake line. They have so many brakes right now between the Guide series and the Level series and the Code series and like all the different variations of that. So it is a little bit confusing. If you're trying to figure out what brakes are best suited for you and your bike, feel free to contact us. We deal with that stuff all day and recommend the right brakes for people. So hit us up via phone or email. We're on that stuff all the time. Let us know down in the comments what you guys think of this stuff. Again, we're stoked to see these things come to market and SRAM just come out with another iteration of good brakes. Hit that subscribe button and we'll see you in the next one.